Sip Bliss, Sip Tina, Sip Sagai, Sip Liko, Sip Sudeep, Sip Girish, Sip Rahul, Sip Anand, Sip TG, Sip Rutanu, Sip Atmatray, and many of you who are not visible, I welcome you to the call. And I start with a beautiful favorite topic of mine, how to love God. My dear friends, do you love God? Do you love God? 1. 2. Do you want to love God? 3. Do you yearn for God? I don't know. I don't know how much you love God. I don't know how much you want God, how much you seek God. So it is for you to evaluate this. It is for you to evaluate and for you to, at the end of today's session, be clear whether you love God, you don't love God, you want God, you believe in God, you fear God. I don't know. But today you will know. I promise you, today will change your life. I too loved God. I loved God so much. I wanted God. My yearning was deep, but I never experienced love for decades. From 8 to 18, 18 to 28, 28 to 38, 38 to 48, I only had bhakti. I loved God. Many of you think you love God, but no, you don't love God. You only have bhakti. How did I achieve God's love? Today you will decode the secret. Today you have to decode the secret. How? By longing for God led me to love God. Today I'm sharing with you, it's a very beautiful journey of my journey with God is very beautiful. When I was in the talash stage, you know what I used to tell God? I used to tell God, Mere Pritam, Mere Premi, Prabhu sab kuch tumhi, tum bin Prabhu kya jeena, tujhse bhakti Prabhu aisi, चाहूं तुम बिन कुछ ना, तू मिल गया सब मिल गया. I used to tell God, तेरे लिए मैं हूँ प्यासा, पल पल मैं तुझको चाहता, सांसों में मेरे तू बसा, मन में आत्मा में तू है, कण कण में तू ही मुझ में, तुम बिन तो मैं कुछ भी ना, जो भी हूँ मैं तुम ही हूँ, तुम बिन मैं कुछ नहीं हूँ, तुमसे ही मैं हूँ बना. भक्ति मेरी ऐसी प्रभु, तुम बिन ना कुछ, तुम बिन मैं कुछ भी ना, तुम बिन मैं कुछ भी ना, तुम बिन मैं कुछ भी ना. मेरे प्रीतम, मेरे प्रेमी, प्रभु सब कुछ तुम ही. It was a deep yearning for God, deep yearning, deep love for God. But I could not love God. From 8 to 18, 18 to 28, 28 to 38, 38 to 48, I could not love God. I loved God, but I could not love God. I had bhakti, I had deep devotion. So my dear friends, many of us pray to God. We respect God. We fear God. We even have that love in our heart, that yearning. It does not materialize into love. Today, the question, how to love God? I wanted to love God, and I asked myself, how to love God? You know, to love God, you must have God. To love God, you must have God. If there is no God, I can tell you, Hitkari ji, I love you. I can tell Raji, I love you. If I tell Tambu Chetty, I love you, say, where is Tambu Chetty? There is no Tambu Chetty on the call. How can I love Tambu Chetty? There is no Tambu Chetty on the call. Who is this Tambu Chetty? There is no Tambu Chetty. We all grew up with a personal God. We grew up with Shiva, Krishna, Jesus, Ganesha, Hanuman, Ram, whatever. We have devotion, no doubt. But what about love? How to love God? How is it possible to love God? To love somebody, I told you, you have to have that person to love. You can't love thin air. Not this air, but thin air. Air means Hawa. You can't love Hawa that doesn't exist. Therefore, love comes from existence. You can love somebody if they exist. If you love a statue, oh, I love Mahatma Gandhi's statue. That Mahatma Gandhi statue you love, how is it love? You may respect Gandhi's statue. You may admire Gandhi's statue. How can you love Mahatma Gandhi's statue? Oh, I love it because I really like it. That's different. How can you love a statue? You can't. You need existence. For love to be possible, you need existence. First principle, don't forget. If you want to love, there must be existence. There's a beautiful story. I have not told you all this story for a long time. I have told you, Krishna, you had heard the story of the prince who was, they wanted the king and the queen wanted to marry this prince. Have you know the story? You know? You know, that means you're there enough on the call. Raji, you know, Raji doesn't know the story. So I'll tell for Raji's. So Raji, there was a king and queen. They were fed up. They wanted son to marry. And they showed all the princesses. Every princess of nearby kingdom, far kingdom, beautiful girls, the Kshatriya and the Vaishya, those business people's daughter, everything they showed. Finally, one day, the prince came up to the queen and said, "Hooray, I'm going to marry." Krishna, you know the story. Then the queen was very happy. The queen said, "Oh, you're going to marry? Very good. But who's the girl?" The prince said, "I have fallen in love with somebody. I have fallen in love and I'm going to marry." So they said, "Who?" So the prince, he took the queen into the attic of the kingdom, where there were all the treasures, all the all the carvings and the paintings. And there he showed the painting of a very beautiful girl. Very beautiful girl. He said, "I'm going to marry this girl." That girl in the picture was 6 years old. 6-year-old girl. But the painting was written the date 20 years back. So the girl should be 26 years old today. And the prince was also 26 years old. And the prince told his mother, "Now if I marry, I will marry this girl." The queen, she was shell-shocked. She became dumb. She could not open her mouth. So people don't know what happened. Why the queen has become dumb? The queen became speechless. She could not talk one word also. So then the prince told, "Why the queen should be happy? I found a girl." So they took that portrait, they took that painting, and they sent that painting to all the neighboring kingdoms. This girl will be 26 years old today. 20 years back, this painting was taken of this girl. Who is this girl? Find the girl. Prince wants to marry. They searched all the kingdoms, near and far. They could not find. Then the wise man of the kingdom, old man, he came, he saw the painting. And he told, "How can the prince marry this girl? Because this girl is the prince." The prince was 6 years old. The mother decorated the prince like a girl because he was so rosy. And the painting was taken of the prince as a girl. Now the prince wants to marry this girl. How can the prince marry himself? How can the prince find the princess which does not exist? My dear friends, how can you love God if God does not exist? You have to maybe you're madly in love. But what if that person dies or that person disappears, never to return? How can you love that person? That person is gone. You can pine for them. You know the meaning of pining? Pining. Oh, I'm yearning. Oh, that is different. But that person is not there. How can you love a person when that person is not there? So love needs to be expressed. Love is expressed either through physical means, through touching, holding, hugging. Love can be expressed emotionally. Love can be expressed intellectually by talking. But love has to be expressed between two people for it to be love. When God is an unknown entity, how can you love God? I love Rama. Where is Rama? I love Krishna, not this Krishna. That Krishna, Hare Krishna. Huh? You can have the love in your heart, but that is bhakti. That is bhakti. We don't understand. Many people love the statue. Many people, they will take chota. Mere to giridhar Gopal, dusra na koi. Okay, right? But is that love? Is that love? I discovered a way to love God. I discovered a way to love God. When I discovered God, I found God. I was searching for God. I found God. I started loving God because I realized God. Now I love God all the time. I even experience God in my beloved. And I called it Prema Yoga. I found God, right? That's why I said, Tujhko Prabhu प्यार करूं प्रीतम को जब मैं प्यार करूं प्रीतम तू ही है तुझको मैं चाहता प्यार मेरा तो है प्रेम योगा तुझको मैं प्यार हूं करता प्रीतम में तुझको मैं हूं पाता होता है प्रेम योगा. So I found God even in my beloved. I found God not just in my beloved. I find God in you. So I love you. I love you all. I love you all because I don't see you as you. I see you as Sip. And like I love you all, I love the birds because I see God in the birds. I love the trees because I see God in the trees. I love the breeze because I feel God in the breeze. हवा में जो मस्ती ये तो तू ही ये तो तू ही. I love the breeze because I see God. I feel God in the breeze. Do you? Do you? That is the problem. You can only love God when you feel God. When you are able to express that feeling, that love for God. That happens when you can experience God. You feel God. So I feel God. I experience God. I love God. Before this, for 40 years, I was yearning for God. I wanted God. I could not love God. I could not. Now I love God all the time. Now I stopped yearning for God. I have God. I'm not looking for God anymore. I'm just loving God. But it was my yearning, my mumukshutva that made me attain God. It made me realize God. And God is not God. God is Sip, a supreme immortal power. Now I love Sip all the time, all the time. How did I discover Sip? Through self-realization. You know it. I've taught you 100 times. I'm not the body, mind, ego. I am the soul. Every soul is Sip. Oh, you all know it. You know it. Then what's the problem? You know it. Knowledge is not realization. Knowledge is not enough. You need realization. You don't have realization. Because you don't have realization, you're still looking at God. You're saying, Hanuman, Hanuman ki jai. Bolo Bajrang Bali ki jai. Yeah, because you are still thinking Hanuman is God. You're still thinking Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. What? You keep on singing. Huh? Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. What will happen? Hallelujah, Hallelujah. You can't love God. Self-realization led me to God's realization. I started loving every soul. I started loving God in one and all. Now I don't yearn for God. I have God. I love God. There's a beautiful story I've told you all some time back. It's a story of Baba Namdev. Namdev is a saint, I think Maharashtra saint. I don't know how many of you know that. He was an enlightened being, Namdev. So Namdev, you know the story, Raji? Namdev story, you know? So Namdev, one day he was making roti. He was making roti and he had a habit of every day of making roti. Then one time in the day, then full day he would eat that roti only, right? Then he was making roti. As he was making roti, one dog came and took the roti and started running. So Namdev, he took that there was one dabba and one spoon, and he started chasing the dog. And somebody told, hey, Namdev, what, you're such a saint man. That poor dog has taken roti. You're running to hit that dog. Ramdev said, no, I'm not running to beat that dog. I'm calling that dog. Come here, come here, come here. Give the roti. I will put makhan, I will put butter and give you. Then you eat it. This is the realization of a saint. This is one who has realized God. In the DOG also, he sees God. So this is the story of Namdev. My dear friends, God is not just in the soul. God is in every molecule of matter. So I love the mountains, the seas, the clouds. I experience God. I experience God all the time. I experience God everywhere. Huh? In one of my bhajans, in one of my songs, I've written, Ye jag tu, hawa bhi tu, asma tu hai, surya tu, चंदा तू बादल तू है जो भी जिंदा या ना जिंदा सब में तू है ऐसी शय कोई भी ना जिसमें तू ना है जहां भी देखूं लगता है हर शय में तू है मेरा क्या है कुछ भी नहीं है सब कुछ तू ही है तुम बिन मैं मर जाता मैं जी नहीं पाता तेरे लिए मैं जिंदा तुझ बिन मैं मर जाता तू ही तो मेरा सब कुछ तू ही तो मेरी जान है तुम बिन मैं क्या ओ पिया मैं कुछ भी ना तुम बिन मैं क्या ओ पिया मैं कुछ भी ना Oh divine, oh my divine, I love you, but I feel you everywhere. I love you in the sun that blows, the wind that blows, the water that flows. I love you in the breeze and the seas and the trees. I love you all the time. Do you love God, my dear friends? Do you love God? Do you experience God? Until you experience God, you cannot love God. Unless you feel God's presence, you cannot love God. If you feel God everywhere, you can love God all the time. This is God's realization. If you want to realize God, you have to realize the soul. You have to realize you are the Atma. The moment you realize you are the soul, then you are on the journey. Then you are on the journey of God realization. But if you still believe that God lives in the sky, this is a lie. When we were children, we were taught God is an old man with a long white beard. He's sitting up in the clouds somewhere there. Huh? God is everywhere. God is in everything. And all the scriptures said, even the Mool Mantra we did once in Zoom call, Hitkariji was there, he remembers, Ek Omkar Satyanam, we did the Mool Mantra. God is everywhere. I am not telling, even Guru Nanak said, don't think I am telling. This is what is in the Upanishad. This is what is in the Bible. The kingdom of God is within you. But realize God. This is the purpose of your life. We live and we die. We don't know who am I. We don't realize God. We don't love God. Last week in the call, what did I tell you? Last week in the call, I told you, Prabhu Pana, yahi maqsad hai. मरने से पहले प्रभु को पाना है सब कुछ मिला अगर प्रभु ना मिला तो संसार मिला फिर भी कुछ ना हम पाते प्रभु पर कहाँ है वो शक्ति सर्वशक्ति वो है परमानंद नादी प्रभु पाना यही मकसद है. Bliss, the meaning of the song is to realize God is the purpose of our life. To attain God is the purpose of our existence. मरने से पहले, before dying, प्रभु को पाना है. We have to attain God. We have to love God. Do you want to love God, my dear friends? Do you want to love God? See God everywhere. God is in everything. Everything beautiful is God. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. फूल भी सुंदर, तितली सुंदर, बादल भी सुंदर है, हवा भी सुंदर, आसमां सुंदर, जग में जो दिखता है अति सुंदर, जो भी सुंदर वो शिव है, शिव ही तो है सुंदरम. Satyam Shivam Sundar. Everything beautiful is a manifestation of God. Everything beautiful is divine. God is everywhere. You're finding for God. You find for God because your mind makes you blind, therefore you find. Your mind makes you blind, therefore you find. Why should you find when the God is just behind? He's there. He's inside you. And you're searching, you're going round and round and round. God is all around you. Huh? That musk deer, हिरन कैसे ढूंढता है कस्तूरी बेचैन से, ना जाने वो उनके नाभि में है रे, वैसे ही भोले तुझे ढूंढता मैं, बेचैन हूँ मैं तुझे ढूंढता मैं, अंदर तू मेरे बाहर ढूंढता मैं, बाहर ढूंढता मैं, बाहर ढूंढता मैं. God is inside, like the musk deer. The musk deer is searching for the musk. How will the musk deer find the musk when the musk is inside? Ultimately, it goes round, round, round in the Himalayas, in the cliffs. It falls, it dies. The hunter catches it, cuts open its stomach, removes the musk. My dear friends, God is everywhere. God is the divine that is within. I told you that we all think we are men and women. We don't remember that we are God, we are a goddess. We don't remember. There's another beautiful story of a boy. A boy wanted to meet God. So he kept asking his mother, Mama, I want to meet God. Mama, I want to meet God. Why you want to meet God? No, he was a young boy. He used to take his tiffin box in holidays time, during school holidays. I want to meet God. Why? Because I want to eat lunch with God. I want to eat lunch with God. Every day I want to eat lunch with God. Mama, that go, God is there somewhere. You will find God. You go find. So this boy kept on going there. He saw an old man, one sad old man. He told this man, Tata, will you have lunch with me? So that man said, let us have lunch together. So the old man sat, and this boy, he kept on eating lunch. He ate, he gave the old man. He ate, he gave the old man. Then he came running back to his mother. Mama, today I had lunch with God. Mama, today I had lunch with God. You told me now if I go there, I will find an old man. I found you, that man. I had lunch with him. I had lunch with God. That old man went home and he told his wife, today I had lunch with God. What? How did you have lunch with God? I was hungry. I had nothing to eat. God came in the form of a young boy. That boy made me eat food and he fed me with his hand. God fed me today. My dear friends, when will we realize God is everywhere? We are so lost in this samsara. We have no time. We want to love men and women. We want to love the skin. We don't want to love the divine that is within. Most of us are enamored by the skin. Oh, how beautiful. No, don't get carried away by the skin. If you want to love God, realize God. If you realize God, you will love one and all. You will find God everywhere, in everything, in everybody. This is the challenge. So, my dear friends, today's session is my favorite session. Do you want to love God? If you want to love God, you must yearn for God. How did I love God? How did I find God? How did I realize God? For 40 years, I loved God. Huh? मेरे दिल में बस एक तुम ही हो, तन मन में और कोई नहीं हो, ऐसा हो जाए बस एक तुम ही हो, इतना भर दे के. You understand the meaning? इतना भर दे. Bliss, it means fill me so much. Fill me, fill me, fill me. इतना भर दे के और कुछ नहीं हो मेरे दिल में. One of my favorite songs which gave me the gift of Prema Yoga. I was singing this to God in January of 2022. I was telling God, है ये आस्था मुकम्मल तुम ही हो, जीवन में मेरे और कुछ नहीं हो, कन कन मेरा तुम बस तुम ही हो, और कुछ भी आए जगह नहीं हो, मेरे तन मन में मुकम्मल तुम ही हो, बस एक तुम ही हो, बस एक तुम ही हो. Yearn for God. Yearning will lead to God realization. First comes self-realization. After self-realization comes God realization. You need enlightenment. For enlightenment, you need magic. Mumukshutva, ask. Gigi, grace of the divine and guidance of the Guru. You need to be overcome ignorance and live with intellect. You need to be in consciousness. You must have mumukshutva, the deep yearning. Now it's time to ask questions. If you really want to love God, I'm here for the next 40 minutes, 30 minutes plus 10, 30 plus 10. I'm here to answer your questions. Don't wait for 30 minutes to be over. But if you really want God, if you want to love God, you can. You can. So before I switch on time for questions, next week, I'm going to try to talk to you about my new book. I don't know which book I'm writing, so I don't know the name of the book. But next week, I will tell you which is the, I just finished writing my book of May, 8 Stages of Spiritual Awakening. In June, I'm starting a new book. And I will reveal that to you next Friday. But for now, it's time to ask AiR. Yes. Have you, everybody's muted, right? So we have got today Krishna, Bliko, Bala, Manpreet. Start. Krishna, Bliko, Bala, Manpreet. 1 minute maximum speaking time. 2 questions per session.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, yes. I hear you blurred, but speak.
Sir, am I clear?
I can hear you cut. I can't hear you
Okay,
clearly.
now. Achha. Sir, it's such a beautiful session you have made, realizing God so simple and easy that we have God around us. Everything is God. But so my question is, what you are saying is practical aparoksha anubhuti, right? It is like a soul-to-soul feeling. It's not a body-mind complex. It's above that, right?
It is not above that.
Now,
it is not above the body-mind.
I'm not able to hear, sir.
So if your connection is not good, what I can do? So can you hear me now? Can you hear me, or you will try to come back?
Okay, I'll ask later.
Okay, so try to come back if you have a better connection. Bliko.
Shivoham, everybody.
Shivoham.
I have just comment on this one. Today's session was very nice, and I realized that this I am soul, soul is sip, I am sip, sip is in all. It's all the packed in a very simple and explained you nicely. I love this book also. I recommend everybody should read this book. This book is also very fantastic. I think this is a realization of a yogi. I read this book. It's a fantastic book. I recommend everybody should do it. It's very nice. That's all.
Thank you, Bliko. Can we give Will, because Will doesn't normally ask questions. I want to go to Mr. Will.
Yeah, Will, yeah, better.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Will, it's your time to ask questions. Unmute, please.
First of all, Guruji, thank you very much for a very lovely explanation. stated in such a beautiful way, and your lovely singing. But some of us have had a much more difficult path. Your path has been extremely fortunate, but in some of our cases, I found uh, I've gone down a path and I feel I've annoyed the Lord. And I don't know if you've ever met someone who's traveled such a difficult journey, and whether there might be any possibility of renewing one's friendship or connection with the Lord. Don't know if you've ever come across such a difficult situation.
What is the cause of the disconnect with God?
Well, it's kind of misconduct. I got lost for a while, and so I got lost on the journey, and I made some mistakes, Guruji. So this is a very serious problem. I was really unaware of the presence of God, and then I traveled down a dark path, and I've come to. It's become quite a
So, Will, I have something very important to tell you.
Yes, sir.
God forgives.
Yes, sir.
God doesn't believe in a yesterday that is gone.
Yes.
The Lord is within you now. The Lord is everywhere. Did you understand today's session? You understood what I spoke?
Yes. Yeah. No.
God,
yeah,
God is not in a church. God is not in a church or a temple or a monastery.
Yes, sir.
God is in front of you. You can see God, feel God, touch God. Every creature you see is a manifestation of God.
Yes,
Forget your past. Wipe it. Delete it. Whatever. I'm not even asking you what. I'm not even interested in knowing the dark path. Delete it, because that doesn't exist. That is over. I am telling you that is over. No need to confess it to anybody. Just wipe it out and start afresh today. Tell God, I love you. I love you. Whatever is over. Accept me, accept my love. Try it. Try it, Will, and you will see a transformation. You will see God's love flowing to you. Don't doubt God. What I'm telling you, don't doubt what I'm telling you. If you doubt it, then it will not seem so easy. The path will be difficult.
Yes, sir.
Trust the divine. You know, faith, F-A-I-T-H, means full assurance in the heart. Hope, H-O-P-E, means having only positive expectations. Trust, T-R-U-S-T, total reliance, unconditional surrender to the Almighty. Will wipe out everything unconditionally. Don't worry. It may be, if somebody has murdered 1,000 people, it doesn't matter. If you think you feel bad for some kind of a sin that you have committed knowingly or unknowingly, you are forgiven. Wipe it out. Love God. That's what matters, because God forgives, and move on forward.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. We have got, I thought Bala, but Bala's not there. No, so Manpreet. If Bala, you are there, please come back. Manpreet, and now Krishna is back. Manpreet and Krishna.
Hi, AiR.
Yes.
So my question is, sometimes when I get busy with work or some other responsibilities, I think I get distracted and my love for God temporarily changes. So how do you suggest I overcome this? Like I have a work, I had to take care of my family. All that is important, and it is important that I balance everything, and I still take time out also, and also make sure that my love and affection for God doesn't change, no matter how the external life is.
Does your heart stop beating temporarily?
No.
Why not? Why doesn't your heart stop beating when you're busy? Why doesn't your heart stop beating?
Because it's involuntary function. It's a part of the body. It just goes.
Because if it stops beating, you'll die. The heart has to beat, right? When you realize God, you can't be busy. You cannot become busy, because God appears to you everywhere and everything. Therefore, you need to work on God realization. This is an example of having yearning for God, having devotion for God, but not realizing God. Knowing God is everywhere. Many of you have this problem. You know God is everywhere. Oh, I know God is everywhere. But you are not able to love God all the time because you have not realized God. I can be doing anything. They can be the most moron, the person who's the greatest moron in the world. He comes in front of me, but I still see God. I deal with the person based on their behavior, but I can see God everywhere in everything. We need to reach that state. Right, Krishna? Now you can hear me, Krishna? Do you have a good
sir.
mic?
My,
Yes.
Yeah, I can. I think so. It was really beautiful. So it was very simple and beautiful. So my question is based on the bhajan you sang. You sang something, Tujhko Prabhu Pyar Karu, Pritam Ko Jab Main Pyar Karu. Is it like that?
Yeah.
And so that means, and then you said you should go, it is not skin to skin, or it is not. So that is why I asked, so is this a paroksha anubhuti, or it is in a soul to soul connection? So that you should have with people.
So you know the answer. You know the answer, but your mind is coming in between. When you love God, God is not only soul to soul.
Right.
God is in every molecule of matter.
Right.
Even if a mountain has no soul, you love the mountain. You love the lake, you love the rain. The rain has no soul, but you love the rain. When it pours, you feel God is pouring on you.
So,
But
sir,
this,
it is easy to love. It is easy to love nature, but it is very difficult to love a person in the same home, under the same roof, because there is where, little bit problems are jate hain.
you are saying it is easy to love nature. It's not nature.
Yeah, it's
nature
very
is,
easy. It's extremely
nature
easy.
is God. You loving nature doesn't mean you love God. You need to experience God in the rain. Then you will
Right.
experience love in your house. See, for me, I don't only love the Bhagwan, I also love the Shaitan. So if you are going to not love the Shaitan and only love the Bhagwan, then this is what
And got it.
true love is unconditional. True love is not
Right.
is seamless. It doesn't stop. It's not
Right,
transactional.
right.
It's there are no expectations. Oh, I love you because of this. I will love you if you do this. No, that's not love. That's not divine. That's not divine love.
Yes,
So
sir.
work
Yes,
on
sir.
work
So
on
that is why
realizing God.
yeah. Yes, that is why I told you. So what you said now, look, or for us to listen to, it was so simple, but it was a last step, sip in all. You just now was explaining that, sip in all. So that is, it's the ultimate step which we need to.
No, it's very
reach.
simple. It's very simple. It's the truth. It's the truth. You have to just get to the truth. That's all.
Yes.
So you have to overcome the ignorance. That's all. Okay. So,
Thank you, sir.
so the next question is from Kamal. Kamal Bansal. Somebody new on the call, I believe. Kamal Bansal, can you please speak? I don't see Kamal Bansal. Gone? Okay, there's no Kamal Bansal. Gone. So we have got Bliss, Bala. First, we'll give Bala. Bala came earlier, so we'll give Bala. Bala and then Bliss. Can you give Bala? And next, or Bliss, if you want to speak, can speak. Bala is still not. Bolo, one of the two.
प्रणाम गुरुजी.
Pranam.
आप बोलते हो शैतान को भी प्यार करो, इसको गिव द मंत्रा नो गुरुजी. गिव द मंत्रा. शैतान आता है तो डाउन हो जाते हैं. जब भगवान में रहते हैं तो द लेवल इज एकदम स्टिल.
इंसान में ही भगवान है, भगवान नहीं आसमान में है, कण कण में प्रभु की शक्ति ही है, हर जीव में भगवान है. You have to see इंसान as भगवान.
कैसे देखिए?
By opening your real eyes. ये आंख बंद करो. You know the story? I'll quickly tell you a story.
Yeah.
एक आदमी था. I don't know if you know the story or not. एक आदमी था. वो एक औरत से बहुत प्यार करता था. One man, Bliss, he was madly in love with a woman, madly in love. So he used to go every day across the river to meet his beloved. One day there was tufan, storm, big storm. The river was going up and down like this. Nobody could cross the river. There was no boat. He could not go. He jumped in the river. He swam. He would die. He crossed the river. He went, he saw everybody was sleeping. But in his beloved's house, which was on the first floor, he saw one candle. He said, see, my beloved is waiting for me. And then she had left a rope. Everybody was sleeping. She left a rope for him to climb. So he jumped, he caught the rope, and he climbed, and he went and knocked at the balcony. She opened the door. And she said, how did you come? The door is locked. The river is in spate. How did you come? He said, oh, Mary Jaan, my Jaan, you left the rope for me and you're asking how I came. She said, I never left any rope for you. Show me which rope. She took him outside. It was a big cobra snake that was going. He caught the cobra snake and he climbed up on the cobra snake and went on top. She told him, Arey pagal, hey, you mad fellow. If you had such love for Prabhu ki jitna pyar karta na, tera beda par ho jata. You would be liberated. That day, that man removed his eyes. He removed his eyes and he went in love of God.
This is a story of Ram Krishna Paramhans, no?
No, not Ram. I think it is. They say, some people say Surdas, some people say Surdas, some people give some other name. Raji, what's the name? Raji, unmute Raji. She's telling the name. If she knows. Yes, Raji. Some people say Surdas, but Raji, you can speak.
It is Tulsidas.
Tulsidas. But
yes,
I'm
yes.
not. I'm sure.
And I'm sure. I am yes, 100%.
100%.
I know all bhaktas. I have read so much, 1,000 times. I have.
See, I have not.
I have heard also 1,000 times.
Sure
All stories I have heard. Guruji.
Tulsidas.
Only
Very good.
Bhakti Marg. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you.
Tulsidas.
Guruji, I cannot be in that level, Guruji. Sometimes down, up. What to do?
नहीं, then you don't, then जियो फिर मरो फिर वापस आओ फिर तड़पो फिर जियो फिर मरो फिर वापस आओ फिर तड़पो फिर जियो फिर मरो फिर वापस आओ फिर तड़पो फिर जियो फिर मरो फिर वापस आओ. The cycle will go on.
No, Guruji, no.
Your choice.
Guruji, give some mantra, no, Guruji, please.
What more mantra you want? I'm telling you.
I knew that story, but what instruction to give my to my this thing ki abhi ekdam basic level hai Guruji.
See God everywhere. Work towards this. This is the only solution. Work towards it. Bliss, come on. Bliss.
Hi. You
Hi.
will listen. You will hear me?
Yeah.
Sure, I'm here.
Tell me.
You can read.
I am
please.
just opening to read. Please ask Sharad to follow Millie. Important. Follow Millie's instruction. To pick Mickey. Mickey is waiting. Bliss, where is you, Bliss? How to find your message? Okay, here it is. Bliss, what's the best way to show our love for God?
Yes.
No.
What? No.
You don't have to show your love. You just have to love.
Yes, but how to show this
You
love?
don't have to show. Showing is not loving.
Yes. Manifest.
Showing is not loving. You don't have to show love for God. You've just got to love God. You don't know the meaning of love? Don't
Yes,
know?
I know.
Well, then you have to love somebody. You have to show. You have to show love.
You have to take care.
No. You can do many things, but you don't have to. How you show you love? You just love.
Yes.
You understand?
I know.
Somebody you love, you make them eat ice cream. Love, you press their head. Love, you buy them a gift. Love, you hug them. Love, you talk nicely. Love, you forgive them. Love, you do everything is love. You don't have to show. You just have to love.
But it's not easy. Sometimes the feeling is here, but how to explain to show love to God?
You
Yes,
must learn the meaning of love. Love expresses. Suppose there's a little dog. The dog comes and the dog says, oh, I want a biscuit. I give biscuit. Love. If my girlfriend comes and she says, I give her a rose, it's love. It's not showing love. It is loving. I'm telling, remove the word show. Just love. Surajit, Okay. Anybody?
Also says
Huh?
Girish Chand.
Girish. Okay. Sharat and Millie. Okay. Okay. So Girish also. Girish Amma. Girish Paratyama says. Girish Chand. Girish Chand is also confirming it is Tulsidas. Thank you. Thank you, Girish Chand. Surajit, let's go next. Who's going next? Surajit. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
हेलो सर
Yes, sir.
सर सोल तो सिप है मतलब मैं सिप तो मुझ में और गॉड में डिफरेंस क्या है
हाँ, आप में और गॉड में फर्क क्या है? समुंदर में और लहर में फर्क क्या है?
सब समुद्र तो एक होता है लहर नहीं लहर एक होता है समुद्र बहुत विशाल होता है
सेम हो गया आपको आंसर आ गया
तो
you are a spark of unique life. You are just a spark, SOUL, spark of unique life. You come from SIP. You go back to SIP.
सर इसका मतलब ये होता है मतलब जो एनलाइटेड सोल हुआ है वो खुद से ही प्यार कर रहा है मतलब खुद के बड़ा फॉर्म को
वो सबको प्यार करता है वो खुद को भी प्यार करता है उसको वो खुद में और दूसरे में फर्क नहीं दिखता है आई डोंट सी डिफरेंस बिटवीन मी एंड यू आई लव यू लाइक आई लव मी आई लव एवरीबॉडी
मतलब सब में खुद को देखता है और खुद में सबको देखता है
यस यस
अच्छा
सब में प्रभु को देखता है ना सब में तुझको देखता है तुझ में मुझको देखता है नो सब में सिप को देखता है हाँ जहां भी देखूं लगता है कि बस एक तू है मेरा क्या है कुछ भी नहीं है सब कुछ तू ही है तू ही तो मेरा सब कुछ तू ही तो मेरी जान है तो यू हैव टू से गॉड इज एवरीवेयर
सर यहाँ पे तो सेपरेशन है ही नहीं तो ईगो कहाँ से आ जाता है खुद ब
ईगो नहीं है तो फिर सेपरेशन नहीं है ईगो है that's why we have to have enlightened ego I want to write a book next week I'm thinking enlightened ego book or man's greatest sin I'm not sure which book I'm going to start writing I will tell you by Friday I don't know which book I'm going to write
okay sir
okay no questions should we close 10 minutes holiday anybody wants to ask question or we will close Rekha yes Rekha Krishna Atmatray Mandeep oh so many questions Rekha's gone Krishna Atmatray Mandeep
sir if allowed I want to share something very very fast very brief
yeah
sir I was reminded when we were talking we had learned a poetry Above and Adam when we were primary classes
may his tribe increase
yeah but in that it's so beautiful his name was not in the list of the in the book where God the people who loves God his name was not there when the angel was writing and then he says I'm one who loves his fellow men and next time in the book he asked what is now what are you writing now I remember she said the angel said God this is the list of the people whom God loves and Above and Adam's name led the rest I remembered only the last so I was remembering okay thank you
so that is so I also remember this poem good you reminded me but see these are good stories but remember the stories sometimes create the duality right makes us think God is that God far away in heaven God so we have to go beyond that that's why I sometimes I refrain from giving such examples because we should not get confused we are God you are a goddess you should not think you're some yesterday I was speaking to a Bollywood celebrity and I was telling her you think you're a princess but in reality you are a goddess you are not a princess you are a goddess and this Bollywood celebrity was so happy you will see the video out in a few days the video is going to be out I don't think I've told you all no? Did I tell you all whose celebrity I'm recording
no
one of the best celebrities of India we had a recording yesterday a podcast and so I was explaining to the celebrity how you are not the princess that the world thinks you are a goddess and she loved it she just loved the idea okay Atmatray and Mandeep
Shivam sir
Shivam
sir I experience God everywhere in visible forms in the nature mountain sky, I feel the God. So, but in unusual things like air or etc., I had difficulty to love God.
So Atmatre,
Yeah.
the moment there is some difficulty means God realization is not complete. That means you have to work a little harder on God realization. The moment God realization is complete, it is like, a fruit. Fruit, you understand, no?
Yeah.
The fruit, if it is kacha, if it is not ripe, can you eat it?
No.
But if it's ripe, then you have to wait any longer.
Right.
You have to wait.
No,
The
no.
fruit is, it's already ripe.
Immediately.
Yeah. So
Correct.
you have that fruit is little bit raw. It has to ripe. Then you will
Yes.
see God everywhere. प्रभु तो है हर जगह, हर शय में वो है, कोई जगह ना जहां वो नहीं है. You have to feel the presence of God everywhere.
Yes, yes. Very nice.
Thank you, Mandeep.
Okay.
Shivam Guruji.
Sure, Mandeep.
So I have two questions actually. One of my first question is that what is the difference between love and attachment? And second question is, I mean, essentially we all are sick, but why is it that all of us have different way of thinking and way of perceiving things, and life happens to each one of us in a very different manner? For example, there are a lot of Sikhs in this world who are, whose just aim is to earn the basic livelihood and earn the bread. So how would they realize the higher goals of life when they are still struggling with these basic things in life?
Let's go one by one, okay? What are the difference? Because I can't remember two questions. I'll go one by one. First question, you said, what is the difference between love and attachment? Correct? Love, unmute him, please. Love and attachment. Love is not attachment. Attachment is not love. Where there is real love, there is no attachment. Where there is attachment, there is no real love. Because attachment is not love. If you think attachment is love, then it's the biggest, it's a myth. Attachment is you are possessive, means you think you love someone, but actually you don't love. The more I'm talking about true love. True love has no conditions, no expectations. You are talking about ishq majazi. Ishq hakiki, in spiritual love, in white, divine, soulful love, there is no attachment. So attachment, from the moment there is attachment, Mandeep, that means there is no love, true love.
So how do we differentiate? How do we differentiate?
You only said it. It's just like saying, when there is light, what is the difference between light and darkness? What's the difference between light and darkness? You tell me. The answer I'm saying, when there's light, there's no darkness. When there's darkness, there is no light. When
No,
one appears,
sometimes we perceive attachment as love. It so happens that
good, you're using good English words. You perceive attachment as love. It is not. The moment it is love, attachment disappears. The moment attachment appears, love disappears. Got it?
Yeah.
Keep the example of light and darkness. I've given you an analogy to remember. The moment light appears, darkness disappears. The moment darkness appears, it means light has disappeared.
Sure.
So keep the example on your head. One. Second, there are many SIP everywhere. You said what is that? You're saying there's SIP everywhere. And why every SIP behave differently, correct?
Yeah, so life happens to every SIP differently, and there are essentially millions and billions of people who are struggling for the basic things like livelihood, earning bread. So how would they, I mean, when we talk to them that you are a SIP and your purpose.
You can't talk to them. It's just like you say, how can I tell a dog you are a dog? Which language you use? Bengali? Tamil? Huh? Punjabi? Kutta, bale, 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 kutta, kutta, kutta. How can you tell a kutta you're a kutta? You don't know the language.
Yeah.
So the people who don't know their SIP, they don't know the language of spirituality. They don't understand. They know what you mean. You tell them you are SIP. What a SIP? Go to hell. What the hell? You're only talking. Go to hell. They don't understand the spirituality language. Your business is not to worry about those people who don't understand they are SIP. Your business is to work on you being SIP, loving the SIP in all, experiencing SIP everywhere. Don't worry about others. If SIP wanted others not to be ignorant, he would find a way. It's not our business. Don't worry about why the tiger is running after the gazelle and eating the gazelle. Don't get upset if you see a little lizard catching a fly and eating it and killing it. Don't get worried if you see a cat going and jumping and eating a rat. This is how God has made creation. Accept it. If you can save them, but don't accept, don't protest. Let go.
Sure. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Rekha Parvan. Rekha Parvani, unmute. Yes.
Shivoham,
Shivoham.
I want to thank you for your beautiful and meaningful bhajans. I knew God and I love him. But I realized only after hearing your bhajans the true meaning of God and the yearning for God. Before this, I just thought I love God. I was very, very religious though. Now the true meaning of love for God.
See, bhajans are not enough. Just singing bhajans are not enough. That is, you are thinking, oh, I love. No, that doesn't mean you love God. If you are just saying, oh, that's bhakti, you're a lot of bhakti. If you really love God, from today, from this moment onwards, you will see God everywhere. तुझ में रब दिखता है, you will see God everywhere. Then only it means you love God. Otherwise, I told you, otherwise you want to love God, you yearn for God, but you are not loving God. So my dear friends, I think today we've answered many questions and I will wind up the session now. I'm repeating to you, today what did we speak? We spoke about how to love God. And if you want to love God, God is everywhere. Don't search for God. Don't go to a temple or a church to search. God is in you. God is everywhere. In the butterfly, in the bee, and the tree. God is everywhere. So don't keep on searching for God because you cannot find God. You have to realize God. That is the way to attain God. Nishu Mathur, I will take questions up to 8:39. So we still have 9 minutes if anybody has questions. Nishu Mathur. Unmute Nishu.
Yeah.
Yes, Nishu and Sukeshni. Yes, Nishu.
Yeah. So AiR, when a person who is enlightened, all right, he will love everybody as a SIP, right? But is it what if it's a guru and a disciple? So will the guru love his disciple just a little bit more than a person he may meet on the street? Because the nature of the relationship is different.
Nobody said that you have to love everybody equally. Did I ever say that?
No.
You cannot love. God has not made the 5 fingers same. The people who have taught us the diktat, right? You must love, yes, or you must love everybody equally. You cannot love everybody equally. You cannot love everybody equally. It is humanly impossible. But you must love all. Suppose you love your beloved. You will love your beloved more. But it does not mean that you should love your servant less. You may love your beloved lot more. But you should not love anybody less.
All right. Okay.
You got the answer, I hope.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes. Sukeshni.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my question is about tomorrow's session. Will it be online also, and is it recurring?
What is tomorrow's session?
Saturday at Bangalore, you have 4:30. You have published in the group.
Oh, I don't know. I think that's not online. That's only that is the AiR Center of Enlightenment. They are starting physical classes in Bangalore.
Okay.
I did not know that they're publicizing it. It's only for people in Bangalore.
Okay.
And they're limited to few people who are coming, who want to meet face to face and have a discussion. And that is not online. Online, we are already on Zoom. We don't need to have that session on Zoom. But many people want to have
The freshers.
beginner session.
Yeah.
That, based on your request, we'll be having it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mandeep is back. Mandeep, as I told you, I will take questions. As long as there are questions, and 8:39, I will close. Mandeep.
Yeah. So, Guruji, I wanted to ask that when we are born, that SIP is inside us, right? But why does it happen that when we grow and when we grow old, we gain a lot of knowledge?
Why? Which one does it is again? Sorry. Yes, please. But coordination means what? Mandeep, please ask Mandeep.
So yeah, my question was that the SIP is there when we are born, right, inside us. But why does it happen that we keep evolving, keep changing as a person, and our personality keeps changing?
Because we are carrying karma.
Okay.
And that karma is our good deeds and bad deeds. And that karma brings us back and makes us believe we are the body, mind, and ego. The challenge is to overcome this ignorance. And when you overcome this ignorance, then you realize self and you realize God. That is the whole purpose of human existence. That is why we are all here. Otherwise, Mandeep, why would God create this world? Why would the Creator create this world? For what?
Exactly.
The purpose of existence is realization.
So my inclination towards spirituality, or the people who are on this call, so is this also because of our past karmas, or
past karma plus present karma? It is a combination of two karmas. Suppose somebody has very bad past karma, but the present karma brings them on this call. Very good. Somebody has very good past karma, but they're not on this call because their present karma are bad. It is twin karma, a combination of past karma and present karma. That brings you on the call. That makes you want enlightenment. Without twin karma, there can be no enlightenment.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishan. Yes, Krishan. NP is the calendar. Krishan.
Shivam Guruji, my question is just for a simple person who is thinking that आकाश में कोई बैठा है जो भगवान है, और या इंसान स्टक है किसी एक स्पेसिफाई आइडेंटिटी को लेके वो भगवान मानता है, साईं बाबा भगवान है या शिव भगवान है, उस इमेज में उलझ के रह जाता है. तो उन बंदों को कैसे समझाएं, उन बंदों को भगवान की कैसी डेफिनेशन समझाएं?
That is the biggest challenge. Now, see, people who have bhakti, people who have a personal God, this is called personal God. They are caught in religion. So this is the problem. The problem of the number of people who believe in a personal God is 80% of this world. 80%, only 20% don't believe. 20% नास्तिक है, 80% आस्तिक है. लेकिन वो 80% में 1% प्रभु को पाते हैं. Because God is not God. God is SIP. जब हम प्रभु की पूजा क्यों करते हैं? Why we pray to God? Oh God, no, my mother got cancer. God, please save my mother. No, God. Oh God, my child got muscular dystrophy. God, what karma I did, God? We go to God crying to God. No, then obviously you can't attain God. No? God doesn't want us to cry. You have got cancer or muscular dystrophy because of your karma. Why you are crying to me? So we have to evolve. Okay? Huh? What? Yeah, questions. Bala, last question. Bala. I think Krishan finished, no? Bala, last question.
गुरुजी ऐसे बोलते हैं जितना तुम बांटोगे उतना आएगा. मतलब हर चीज में सेवा करो, ये करो, वो करो, सत्संग में जाते ये करना, सिर्फ करना है. फिर हम हमारे पास कैसे आएंगे गुरुजी? मतलब ये भी कहाँ तक सच है ऐसे कि सेवा करो?
100% सच है. जितना करेगी वो मिलेगा, लेकिन प्रभु नहीं मिलेगा.
हाँ, तो फिर क्या फायदा ना गुरुजी?
तो तुम्हारी मर्जी है, आपकी मर्जी है. तो आपको खाना चाहिए, खाना बांटो. आपको दारू चाहिए, दारू बांटो. आपको अच्छा सेवा करेंगे तो आप अच्छे अगले जिंदगी में अच्छी जिंदगी मिलेगी. प्रभु नहीं मिलेगा.
तो बस be in yourself, be selfish and be in yourself.
Not selfish. Love one and all as God. Love God. See God in all. What selfish? Means you're back to class, first standard aa gaya वापस.
नहीं, selfless love.
Selfless. Selfless. ठीक है. You have to, selfless या selfish की बात नहीं है. Realize God. जगत मिथ्या, प्रभु सत्य. ये जग जो है, ये जग एक लीला है, माया है. God is everywhere. God is in everything. Love one and all. This is the way to attain God. If you do good karma, you will come back and you will be rewarded. And you will suffer. And you will suffer. And you will suffer. Okay, I think 8:38. Thank you. We have another 1 minute. Mandeep, last question. I said I'll take question till 8:39. Last question. Mandeep.
Yeah, I'll just ask last question. So, I mean, we see that often people who are very, aggressive and crude, they get a lot of success, materialistic success in today's world. So how does that karma theory define that? Like a lot of good people struggle in life. For example, Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, they would not have done any bad karma, but they still struggled, right, in their lives. So how does that explain this?
No, what explanation you want? Why people suffer?
Good people suffer. Like,
no,
for
there's
example,
no question of, that is the essential understanding of karma. There's no question of good people suffering. Any good person will not suffer if they don't have suffering in their karma. If somebody is suffering, means there's only one reason. They have karma.
But Jesus, Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, all of them suffered,
there is no other thing than karma. If you believe that Jesus, and see, the problem is you believe Jesus is God and Krishna is God and Rama is God. You don't believe Mandeep is God and Raji is God. What can I tell you? You are God. You are thinking Jesus is God. You are God. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you, but you are thinking Jesus is God.
Oh, he was messenger of God, but why did he suffer?
You are also messenger of God.
Yeah.
Everybody is messenger of God. I am also messenger of God, so I can't suffer. Everybody who has got karma, they will suffer. If Jesus had karma, he would suffer.
Okay.
There is no other logic. Then Jesus was enlightened. Jesus was the Son of God. Jesus was the messenger of God. He was liberated. He was attained his Father in heaven. Okay. What suffering? Body suffered. He did not suffer.
Okay. Thank you.
My dear friends, love God. Realize God. God is everywhere in everything. This is the ultimate goal of life. With folded hands, I bow down to you.